Hey, 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 the dynamic, daring, one of a kind diva Denise Silas. Welcome to another Let's Talk About It Tuesday and Happy New Year. I should have grabbed them things. I don't know what they call, but to wish you a happy new year. Oh my gosh, our first Tuesday in 2026. You guys, I love this time in the year because a lot of times we reflect, a lot of times we just kind of want to start something fresh and new. And so today we're going to really dive. We don't have a traditional speaker conversation, but we're going to all do a conversation. We're going to take advantage of the fact that this is a new year, and I'll be sharing some stuff as well. Um, Kendra just put in the chat a link to Pastor Mike, where he announced his church announced their word for the year, which is become. And I promise you, it will bless your soul, right, Kendra? It will bless you. So, grab that link, and we'll make sure that we'll put it in our Decide Tribe group as well for you to grab. But it is phenomenal. So, as we always do. And of course, we always say put in the chat if you are a repeat offender or a first timer, and also put where you are tuning in from. I want you to, let me get this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here. So we're going to go ahead and jump in, share this information, and then I have some fun stuff for us to do as we are in this new year. Invite a friend to come on and join us as well. So we get back to the beginning. So, of course, as we always do, we always just want to introduce who Empowered by DS is. This is myself, along with my two daughters. Our mission, which is still strong, is empowering women to be the best version of themselves in their current season of their life. As we get together in this new year, a lot of times you find some people who are excited about coming to the new year, and then some people who bring over into this new year some frustration, some disappointments. But in this season, I want to challenge you to be grateful for where you are, and then just be the best version that you can in this current season. We are going to continue into 2026 with still with some of our amazing events. We're still doing our Let's Talk About It Tuesday, and I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to do this month. And then, so we'll still have that. We have a new link that we are using for the year, because you guys, how about when I set it up back in March, I just put it to the end of December. I don't know what I was thinking is at that time I was like, whoo, if we get there, I just thought I was putting it out in the future, but then realized that was going to cut me off, and I forgot to change it. So that's why we have a new link. But this also gives us a fresh start of being able to see who has engaged with us in the new year as well. So that helps us with that as well. We will continue to have our Divas Dinner and Dialogue. We are waiting for confirmation of our dates. The months that we will have Diva Dinner and Dialogue is in February and March. February will be our Valentine's Day celebration. March will be our Women's Day. Then we have in June, and then actually from June to then we'll have November. But in between that time, we'll have our some of our empowerment breakfasts as well. So we're going to continue to do that this year. We just had our January one, but we also will have one in our April is our retreat month. So we'll have that. That's still one of our empowerment series, but that we'll have the retreat, and then we'll have our final lap in October as well. So those are our breakfasts. Still quarterly, we just launched our Grace Over Grind quarterly subscription box as well. So that come out. We're doing some new things in 2026. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that as well. And then still all of those things are Escape to Empower Me, which would be in Birmingham this year. So we're excited about that. I'll launch the Focus 10 Challenge, which is usually our spring fitness challenge that we do. And then in September, you can put this on your calendar. September 22nd will be our Feel the Teal in Your Highest Heels for our ovarian cancer awareness event. So I have already sealed and locked that in. And then our adopted grandparent, of course, will be launched in fall as well. So, and then our vision of victory at the end. So we still are going to continue with all things. We may not have them as frequently, and then we'll be launching a new our new book as well. So we're going to do based on recommendations, going to do a book club. So I'm looking forward to being able to get that launched as well for everybody. So excited about that. And so what we're going to do this month, I'm going to interview some of the ladies in the Decide Tribe. The beautiful thing about the position that I'm in, I really get to know a lot of the ladies, kind of their stories, what they're going through in the process. And all three of these women achieved in different ways. So I want you, because as we're looking at the beginning of the year and trying to figure out how to be successful for 2026, they all have different ways of different stories to be able to just really share about what it took for them as life was happening, as their, some goals missed, some goals achieved, but through the process, what they learned. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you guys. So we're all focusing on how to have a successful 2026 and some choices that are being made through the process. So I hope you will join me all month for that. Also, continuing to set up the Unstuck Unstoppable coaching sessions. If you are in a season where you are trying to figure it out, and I know when we had our vision experience on Saturday, there was a few women that just were sitting there stuck, not knowing where to start. If that is you, that have all kinds of things going on in your head and you just need some clarity and some direction, having that, sitting through that session and having those questions for us to go and really dive deeply, into your individual situation, I promise you will be beneficial. So you can check that out on our website. Also, before I go here, definitely check out our website for upcoming things. But I am excited. One of the things that I am working on right now is to be able to create three different scenarios. So for all of the events that we offer, whether they are virtual or in person, we're going to have, we'll have like three different levels of membership with our Decide Tribe and the packages that I offer. So one of them is just attending events. So your thing may be just being able to, if you're local, to be able to get the virtual and the online. And then for our individuals who are not, our ladies who are not local to us that want to engage more, we'll have all our virtual events. In addition to that, I'm building every 90 days coaching experience to support you in staying on track. So it's a group coaching environment. It's really focused on seeing you just progress, move, and with some accountability to your victory at the end of the year, but doing it in 90-day increments. And then finally, for the diva who wants it all, they'll be able to not only have our virtual experiences, our in-person experiences, but they'll have a more advanced coaching process for not only just working on your goals, but really being able to evolve into the woman that God has called you to be by going through the process of aligning, becoming, and conquering to make sure that you are putting yourself in that position. So I'm excited about that. So by the end of the month, I would say by the end of the month is the latest that we'll be able to have all of that information available to you. So keep an eye on us, keep following us, and I would definitely send that out to you. In the meantime, check out our website. We are doing some upgrades and stuff like that. So if you see any hiccups, you can let us know. But we are in the process of trying to get that kind of take it to the next level. We've been just doing the best we can for what we know. But we're looking to even go to go even better. I can find my little circle there. So continue to follow us and tell other people about us. Please, please, please share. We share because we care. But we're looking to just invite more people to be a part of what we're doing, to be empowered, right? The goal is to be empowered. It's not just, I'm definitely not looking to entertain, but definitely looking to, for anybody who wants to maybe looking for a tribe, maybe looking for a community, and they're ready to grow, that they, start off at least just kind of following us and then decide if they want to be more engaged. But the first thing is just having them to either follow us on our social media platforms. At this time, we welcome people to come into our Decide Tribe Facebook community, but we'll even be making that a little bit more, creating a community that's a little bit more intense than the current one that we have. But at least if they're in the Decide Tribe, they'll know everything that's going on as well. So before I start this, just want to see, hey. So welcome. I don't know if you can, I don't think, may have to share it. Kendra, can you share it one more time, the links? I think if you come in after the link is posted, you can't see the link. So if you can share it one more time. And my computer is telling me it's about to do some simp. So hold please, hold that thought before my. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's, for those of you who came in afterwards, Kendra put in the chat a link. It's a link to Pastor Mike. He and it's him and some of his ministers and staff, where they launch they shared their word of the year for his church. And when I tell you just the way that they just broke it down and discussed it, and I mean, it was an amazing cross between a Bible study to a I mean, almost like a revival. Like, it was amazing. But it's just it was like a podcast conversation, but it was really good. So I encourage you to take a listen to it, and just see, hopefully it fuels where you want to go for the new year as well. So let's talk, you guys. Let's talk. So I want you to put in the chat. First, I want to start with, and today we're going to talk about just kind of goal setting, being focused, how to get your new year off to a great start. And I know different people have different thoughts about having, making a New Year's resolution, and because they, people don't stick to it, right? So my first question to you is, have you set let me say this. I just think of instead of saying this a New Year's resolution, I just say I set goals at the beginning of the year. So hopefully everybody sets some goals of where they want to be, where they want to, so that you have some sense of direction, right? So I'm not even sure why New Year's resolutions are so negative, but put in the chat if you have either set goals or set New Year's resolutions or have a focus that you have. Put that in the chat for me. Just want to see what we're working with. Put that in the chat. Let me make sure nobody's telling me they couldn't get on. Okay, cool. Okay. Yes, okay. And I know some of you, because a couple of you were on in our vision experience on Saturday. How many of you have created, and I know, of course, Kendra and Lenita did, but Camille and Erica and Alea, have you guys made your vision board or any type of goal poster for 2026, and I guess you can say even beyond? Let's put that in the chat for me too. Oops, I gotta figure out how to bring up the chat too. Oh shoot, what is this in the middle? Okay, we can do it here. I set a goal, but didn't have a physical word of it. Okay. Um, okay, great, great, great. Now I would encourage getting somehow a visual in front of you, um, because that's a good reminder, and put it into place. And even if it's doing something like on Canva on your phone, or um, putting it as a screensaver, like I challenge you guys to get it in front of you. And if you haven't, just creating something that's more, instead of just being in our heads, that's something that we can look at, can be reminded, and then actually that creates a visual for you, and actually creates a snapshot in your head, you know, did we remember it all? No, but the fact that your mind took the time to create that, revise my board from last year. Okay. Um, that will make, I promise you, will make a difference. So I have some questions for you guys today. That's why I encourage you to bring a notebook and pen. Um, so these are my 3 words for this year. And the reason I'm telling you guys, just kind of the reason why I selected these words. So align. I think most people understand that, why we want to align, and of course, aligning ourselves with what God has for us. So when I think of alignment for me, is not only because I believe I'm clear about, I'm not saying I believe I'm clear. I am clear about where my purpose is right now, what I am to do right now. And that's the around empowering women, pouring back to women. Where my alignment has to come in for me is more of really standing in who he has created me to be. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in a scenario where you have worked hard to get their certificates, to get the skill set. Um, Let me even flip it here. You work hard to even get yourself to a certain weight. You lose the weight, but you still haven't aligned yourself of who that person is that you have worked to become. Right. So, and I remember when I first went down a few sizes, it was still challenging for me to purchase the lower sizes because my mindset had been in the larger size for so long. So that can even translate to the things that, even, people who have gone and got advanced degrees. Do you even still believe that you can be the person, now that you have the doctorate or have the master's or have the new position, that we still have not aligned ourselves up with who that person is? So that's that was my additional align. And then I had initially had it align and believe because it's ABC. So initially it was believe, because sometimes I know that we have a challenge with believing in the things that we want. So we see ourselves over here and the possibilities of it being, that bridge, that gap between where that is. So believing, but instead of then when not instead of, but when Kendra shared with me that video that you guys are watching, that I'm encouraging you to watch, and it was about the become and how he broke down what becoming was. So the way I took, why I changed my word from believe, because we can believe in something, but we don't make any progress of being that thing that we believe in. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Give me something. So we believe it, but one, do we believe it for ourselves? Do we believe it in the season of our life? So the becoming is more of, you're in the process of being, right? It's not just believing over here. There's movement, there's action to get there. And then the word conquer for me is, I'm a big believer. Like you'll hear me say often, you hear me say, pray for God to order your steps. but then give you the courage to move. Because a lot of times we're not where we want to be because we're not courageous enough to make a step. That we're standing still because of the fear. We've created the whole plan, but we're not taking any action on it. My pastor's message on Sunday was, it's time to act. Like, we have to get into motion and not be afraid of if we don't get it right the first time, not waiting until we have it all right, right? So being in position to praying for courage. So one of the things for I'm experiencing now. So one of the things that Pastor Mike talked about is there's three, and I don't know if it's on that video or if it's another, it was his message on New Year's Day to his congregation, but he talks about there's three opportunities: the one that you're praying for, the one that it was like the one that you prayed for, the one that you get and you didn't even pray for, and then it's like the third one is one that you weren't even aware that almost you didn't even know that you should knock for it. And right now I'm experiencing something. It's only the 6th of January, you guys, and I've had two opportunities, amazing opportunities, come to me that I didn't even have the capacity to know I should have been praying for that. Like, I didn't even know that that was something that was within my reach. Has anybody else had that type of experience? I'm gonna take it off this. Where you not even realizing, oh no, you didn't realize it because honestly didn't even think that thought as it related to you. Am I the only one ever had that? Because it's honestly blowing my mind. So it's taken me a moment to grasp it, right? To grasp what it even means, to grasp the fact that I could even be qualified for it. And then once I got the understanding, I was like, this is it's totally aligned. Once, and it took me, like, I had to study it to figure out, like, why would I be qualified for this? Like, why would someone want me to do this? To be able, it's almost like I had to sell myself on it. But if you've ever been in that scenario, it's now having the courage to act upon it. Because sometimes what people would do is they find themselves in that position, but because they don't think I'm not eligible, I'm not qualified, I'm not ready for this, they won't make the move. And I firmly believe, it takes me a moment to act on it, but I do have to believe that God won't give you a vision without making a provision for you to get there. You may not know, feel that you know it all, but there is the possibilities of it. So any comments, feedback, anything, put in chat. Come off mute at any time. Come off your mute at any time. Because I definitely would love for you guys to engage as we get ready for this new year. Let me bring this back. So there's some questions that I want you to ask yourself, to answer for yourself. I always reach back because I can never find my little circle. There we go. So I'll give you some questions that I want you to answer. And hopefully during this season, that's what you're doing. You're asking yourself a lot of questions. Some are reflection for 2025 and some just to set yourself up for 2026. So this question: when you imagine yourself at the end of 2026, so if you haven't did this exercise, you definitely want to do this. What do you want to be able to say you accomplished, and why does that matter now? Why does that matter to you now? What do you want to say, able to say that you accomplished, and why does that matter to you now? Is that a new question for you? What do you want to say at the end of the year, and why does that matter to you now? Put it in chat. Does anybody want to share? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Y'all be quiet on me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So one of my big things that I want to accomplish for our business is to become a membership based community. So that matters to me now because one of the feedback that I've been getting from people in the Desire Tribe, and then two, I just believe that is the next best move for the community, and then to be able to strengthen the sense of community for the individuals who have committed to the mission of the Side Tribe. So that's one of our focuses. So that's the first question that I have for you. The next question that had a question about, but let me go back so I can read it. Okay. So Linda says that I had the courage to step out of my comfort zone, enlarge your circle of friends. So why does that matter to you now in your season? So share that. So why does that matter to you now?
Can I come off mute?
Yes, yay.
It matters to me now because I'm on the verge of being an empty nester.
Mm,
So I've spent years devoted to my kids, and now that they're about to graduate, just getting out and I guess redefining who I am, seeing who that
mm,
person on the other side is going to be.
awesome. And how many kids do you have, Lydia?
We have two boys. One's
Two.
a senior, the other one's a 10th grader.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's better to start now than to wait till they leave, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
trying to get it figured out.
Hmm.
Awesome. So like I mentioned on Saturday, when you make a decision, there's other decisions that have to be tied to that, right? So during this time, and for those of you who weren't there Saturday, as we were talking about our goals, I share with them that it's important that we look at, and I said there's six decisions, but it can be three, it can be six, it can be 10. That's tied to you being able to be successful in that. So as I hear Lanita talk about the fact that, she has a sophomore and a senior, and she wants to be able to say that a year from now, one of the decisions that she has to make and be comfortable with is the fact that now that may be time away from them where she's used to always being able to make them a priority in the current season, right? So it's that decision of now, so what does that mean for me to have people at the end of the year? That means I have to have done stuff with them during the year. And then that means I may have to have, you know, now all my time is not just my boys. I just have to figure, balance out between the two so I can nurture some relationships as well. So being able to, what are some of the decisions? Because I always laugh. My biggest one is, the decision to work out at 5 a.m. I failed to make the decision of going to bed at night. So every time I do it, it costs me. But trying to get better because I've been trying to clock my hours of sleep. You guys, I got like 7 hours and 58 minutes yesterday. And I was like, I'm getting closer to eight. I'm getting closer to eight. Um,
That's funny.
so I do clock down. The day before, well, it was like 4 hours and something. So, hey, but I am literally on my workout plan. My goal is to have 26 days because we're doing everything 26 by 2/6/26. So I'm even tracking the days. It's not 8 hours I'm tracking because Lord knows that I'd be happy if I get seven or even 6.5. So I'm tracking 7 days out of 7 nights where I can get 26. That's one of the things that I'm tracking. So yeah, that's a big deal, Camille. That's a big deal. so, so I've been trying. Last night I was in bed before 10 o'clock. I was like, but I was cross-eyed at 8. It just took me a minute to go get to bed, but I was cross-eyed by 8. Um, but yeah, so that's always one of my jokes of that's a prime example of not making the right decision to support the decision. So the next question, Oh, did I wait? Did I not go for it? Okay, no, I didn't go for it. Okay. What worked for you in 2025 that you want to carry forward, and what needs to be released so it doesn't follow you into 2026? What do you need to carry, and what do you need to release? I know we all got something. Uh-oh. Let's stop the as a share windows go. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, I got hot. What do you need to carry into that worked, and what do you need to what do you need to release? And have you thought about these questions yet, or is this just your first time um, thinking about these questions? Is this anybody's first time kind of having to look at these questions? Okay, gotcha. And but this is, can you see how this can make a difference in your progression into the year, because we're being more intentional about what we're doing? So deep for the first time. Um, but I mean, think about it, you guys. If we get into the new year, it's almost like starting your day. If you get into the new year and just get to going and don't sit, pause, and reflect, it's just like how when we say we get up in the morning, instead of sitting, pausing, and reflecting with God, and we just go into the day, we're going to get whatever we get, right? But starting off the year, just saying, okay, what are some of the things that and I'll say this too, if you don't take the time to, especially for the things that worked well that you can't build upon, it's like you're wasting it. Like you wasted it. Like you didn't utilize it to continue to make the difference for you, because we're just taking things for granted. So really looking at what has worked for you, and putting it in place. One of the things that worked extremely well for um, for me, as you know, and it relates to Empowered by Des, is the fact that we took in January, in November of last year, 2024, and we planned out our entire year. That made me more proactive. I wasn't doing stuff around other people. It made what I wanted to do a high priority. So as I look at it and think about my personal life, and taking the time to do that, is looking at places, things I want to do, and make that on my schedule, because I believe if you put it on your schedule, you would do it. What we do often is we don't commit to stuff that we want to do, or things that's going to matter, in case something comes up. But the thing that comes up is usually something you're reacting to. It's really not adding the value to your life that you want to add, because you weren't intentional. It was just a reaction to something, and often a feel good something. But imagine if you say to yourself, whether it's your relationship with your friends, your eating, that you say, once a quarter I'm going to do this, and you put it on a calendar. I'm going to make it a point, using Lanita's as an example. I'm gonna make it a point to have brunch with friends. And it may be new relationships that you've built in your Decide Tribe, to say, hey, would you guys be somebody interested in going to brunch? There's a book. This may be a good book. I don't know if you like to read. I don't like to read, but I love to listen. So I'm a big audiobook. But there's a book, Lanita, called Finding Your People. I would encourage you to get that, because you may have the people right around you that could be a part of that. I listened to it last year, and because I'm in a big space of wanting to have the right people in my life, because because I'm around a lot of people, but people I want to build relationships with. And she pointed out about, and I can't remember what example she used, but she just talked about being around people that you around consistently. You may see them and just kind of passing, hey, but you guys normally like to see each other when you do. And it made me think about the ladies I go to church with. I sit, most people who go to church sit on the same row in the same space. So it's like six of us, and we hug on each other every Sunday. And we would just say hello, and then went from there to and from this finding your people, I said, you guys, we should have brunch together. So now we have a group chat. We encourage each other. We get together every so often, just because I took advantage of the space of the people already, that we just got into the habit of just not making it more than what it could be. And just because I made one decision, and now that they're my part of my people crew as well. So good. I use my calendar on my phone to put down events and important dates, so I will definitely carry that. Awesome. Okay, I'll look it up. Yeah, it's called Finding Your People. And if you can't find it, let me know, and I can get you the author's name as well. But it's a really good book. It's a really good book as well. Okay, so she's going to use her calendar, put things in her phone, schedule it, and don't be afraid. This is one I'm going to carry into the new year, and it's I call them walk and talks. And those walk and talks just gave me the opportunity. I would say, hey, instead of going out to eat all the time. So I just invited people I would love to get to know you a little bit better, and got to get together with them, just schedule the time. Kendra and I was going to do a walk and talk, but we couldn't. We didn't end up walking. Um, I think it was the weather or something like that. So we decided to just get together. And as a result of that, I believe, I hope she agrees, that, we've gotten to just do a few more things together. And I think even outside of Empowered by DS, that we're comfortable enough to be able to build on that relationship. So that's just because I asked and I invited. So who do you want to be in the space of, to be intentional about designing and defining who you want to be around by just inviting people. And then I'll tell you this: if you get together with them and you find out they're not quite your people, you ain't got to invite them to another lunch. You ain't got to do that. So, but you don't know until you ask and take the first step. Okay. So that was that question. Let's see the next one. Are y'all answering these questions? Uh-oh, I opened the wrong one. From current slide. Okay, that one. Okay. Next one. If you focus on just three priorities in 2026, what would they be, and how would achieving them change your life, not just your schedule? That's good, ain't it? If you focus on just three priorities in 2026, what would they be, and how would achieving them change your life, not just your schedule? Oops. That's a good one. And what would be, if you had to make a decision right now, what would be your three priorities? What would be your three priorities? Anybody gonna share? Or at least what would be one? Put in chat or come off mute. I'm typing it up to get in the chat. Health, relationships, and legacy. So tell me about legacy.
I'm gonna come off mute for that because it would be too much to type. Um, when I say legacy, I've lost my parents, my mother 7 years ago and my dad 3 years ago, and my husband has lost his sister and his father, and with those losses, we inherited property. So this year, it will be about aligning those properties, getting them up and running to pass on to our children, and making sure that our personal estates are in order.
Hmm, awesome. 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 And sorry about your loss. They said when we have, um, that's one of the different life transitions that force you to look at, take a look at things. And death is definitely one of those. Timeliness, healthy living, prioritizing self, and blocking out negative voices. Finance, relationships, bettering self. What is bettering self, Camille?
Like just taking care of me and just listening. Like that's why I love coming here. Just bettering my mind and spirituality, just a whole as a whole, just me as a whole.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, what I would encourage you to do is define those areas and then take them, like tackle them one by one. Or, if it's going to be your mind, how can you do your mind specifically so that you can have a tangible result where you can see that because I did this, I got that. Um, or if it's, if it's your physical body, is it eating right? How do you um, define your bettering yourself a little bit more specific so that you can have specifics that you can do to support it. Does that make sense?
That does. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Denise.
you're,
Yes.
you're welcome. So one of the things we talked about Saturday when you're setting goals or setting goals, resolution, intentions, I'll use all the words, is and this comes from my years of being a director with Mary Kay, right? I had to support people in achieving goals. And a big piece of it is being specific, right? So, it's the SMART, right? You have the S for specific. So if it leads it to generic where different people can come up with different interpretations of it, you're probably not specific enough. So you have the specific, the S is for specific, the M is for measurable. How can we measure it to know that it's happening, right? Then you have the A, spelling smart. Then you have the A, is it attainable or achievable? That's going to be totally depending upon you, right? Because what I can achieve versus what you can achieve or Erica is totally different based on our backgrounds, all kinds of things, right? There's all kinds of factors. So is it achievable for you? Then is it realistic or relevant? Once again, that's totally you. I used the example on Saturday that when we talk about goals, and especially say somebody, we were talking about, say if it's working out. I gave my fit group a challenge of doing the 26 workouts by the 26, the 26. Well, for me, doing a workout is not the big deal, right? Because I work out so frequently. But for somebody else, setting the goal to do three workouts a week, that's very relevant for them. That would not be relevant for me, right? Um, Me setting the goal of doing 5 workouts at 600 calorie burns per workout is attainable, achievable, realistic because of this, what I already do. So you want to make sure that is that too. And then the last thing is timely. So when you say bettering myself by when? Is it over the next 6 months? Is it 9 months? And then just doing it from that standpoint. So, and that just helps you. So then we won't look up, and time flies by and we feel like we don't have accomplished anything because we didn't have anything to measure. We didn't have anything specifically that we were trying to obtain. So that's why you want to get a little bit more specific. Health, working on getting rid of some medications. Okay. Finances, reading the Bible. Girl, I got a reading the Bible goal too. Um, Mine is I hope listening is this, I'm challenged with reading. But so reading the Bible, how many days a week? Is it every day? Is it a chapter a day? Is it just 5 minutes a day? Is it 2 lines a day? Is it a devotion? Like just making it specific so you can measure it and then know what you're supposed to go do. That's the other piece of it. When we get busy doing stuff, if we don't have a specific thing, it's harder to not do that thing because it was always left to our imagination to figure it out. And when you're stressed and have stuff going on, it's harder to figure things out. It takes more mental energy. Bible Recap is on the Bible app and they will read to you. I know, right. I got it. Yes. And
And
I
then I
found,
figured out you could use your, like, you know how different versions have different narrators, but you can change to the narrator that you like. That was game changing for me. Maybe that's
yeah,
what I need to do because the app that I be listening to, I be like, nope, let me just read it again. Because I'm a reader, I'm not a listener.
yeah, no.
So,
I
and I
agree with
try
you.
and I tried, but I just be like, well, maybe I need to change the voice. But I've changed the voice. I had a man voice at first, then I had a lady voice at first. And it just, my mind just always goes to wondering. So what worked for me was, like you said, Denise, is it a chapter a day or what pastor started us, he started this in, oh, it was the end of the summer, and we had to read a chapter a day. So that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, when we came back together a week later in Bible study, I could participate, or I could say, oh, yeah, I got stuck right there, or I had to
Mm-hmm.
reread it again. But that's my thing. I start off good. Like we have the what's those, the daily words or whatever,
The daily bread.
those, yeah, the daily breads, and I start off good and I'll be going good for 5 days, 10 days, and then I slack off
Mm-hmm.
and I try to catch up, but then there's some, I just lose it. So that's my goal, and that's always my goal, to just read the Bible more, and so I can better myself that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have at Brown, we have a daily um, um, chapter, a daily chapter. So we have ours on a printout. So we have the daily chapter, and then whatever is on Friday, my pastor preaches on Sunday. Whether he has, Sunday, he preaches through the weekend. So if he has a funeral, he's using that same thing the whole weekend, which is amazing to me. So we have that. Then when we have where so my goal, yeah, my accountability partners, my goal is to stay on track, but give myself grace if I get off. But the goal is to do it, the chapter to read. I'm sorry, to read the chapter, do the devotional lined up with it as well, right? So it's to do it 100 days. Now, the idea goal is to do it 100 days in a row, right? But I want to track and see how long it takes me to read the Bible 100 days, whether it's, if I skip a day or whatever, that's not the goal, but I'm going to continue to go and without chastising myself. Because I would get off, and you spend so much time on the fact that you got off that just read it and keep going. Um, but also how the additional piece, so that T for time, it should be T for tracking as well. So now you can see your progress, right? If you have something, and I have one of those, it is I got it from the Dollar Tree or Office Depot, where it's just circles. And so now I can see my progress. So if you have something, going back to um, Camille's bettering myself, going back to you reading the Bible, or going even with Lanita saying about, the relationships. Well, it is 5 outings with girlfriends in the next. So I would say hers is 5 outings with with girlfriends by a certain date, right? So it's specific. She can measure it and it has a time. So then she looks and says, by that date, did I do it 5 times? Right? So making and then being able to track it somewhere. So that tracking, what you track, you attract. So what you track, you attract. So how can you track something that means something to you as well? So now I can say to you, Erica, how we doing? So since we both got the same goal of doing it, then finding an accountability partner that also wants to grow or achieve that. Or if it's not the same thing, it could be something different, but that you could hold each other accountable for as well. So the smart. So I forgot the last question was your 3 priorities. So you guys shared it. I think we all got something. Yes, it's a challenge. Yes. And the day Pastor Orr said, sometimes I get off my reading too. I was like, oh yeah. This now that you just want to know you're not the only one out there, right? With the struggle. And I've been trying to hold on to this. Pastor Orr said it a couple of Sundays ago. He said, how about you create yourself, because he was talking about happy hour. Then he said, what about your holy hour? What's your holy hour? Do you get up and, maybe your holy hour is you read your Bible, you, do your devotional, you do some exercise, you may have your cup of coffee, but it's your mental, you're getting yourself mentally aligned with your day. Like that's your holy hour. And so I've been holding on to the holy hour. And for me, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I don't get up and read because I can't read at 4:30 in the morning. I can, but I'm going to have my holy hour. So now my focus is, did I get it in? And, or my holy time, because it may not always be a full hour, but starting somewhere that I can measure, I can track and do consistently and show my progress. That is the biggest key for that. So, all right, going to our next one. I think we are getting close. I hope this is helpful and worth you being on here today. Our next one. What habits, boundaries, or mindset shifts must be in place for you to realistically achieve your 2026 goals? Boundaries, mindsets, and habits. One of my commitments, you guys, is, and as I mentioned earlier about, capacity, is I'm really working on not giving of my capacity in areas that are not serving me. I'm really reevaluating. I'm really looking at everything that I have a commitment to, right? To say, in this season of my life, does that still align with what I'm calling to do? Does that me giving of that time, is it contributing to me being the best version of myself so I can be who God has called to me, calls me to be? Is it distraction? Where do I really need to make sure that I'm freeing myself up mentally, physically, in all areas in order for me to really fulfill where I believe that I'm being called to right now. And, full transparency. I mean, this is our 3rd year, but we're still evolving. I'm still trying to figure it out. What does this all mean? So in that process, I am clearly aware of, especially at my age, my mind just cannot handle as much information, as much stuff as it used to, like literally. So with that, I used to be quick on stuff. I could jump from this, that. I'm not as quick. So instead of me still trying to do that, I'm trying to just be more focused, more intentional, more in line, and not necessarily doing all the extra, where I used to do all the extra, but not really doing that anymore. So some of the boundaries really, I am protecting my space and I'm maximizing my space. And the space, my head space, my heart space, all of those good things. Not putting myself in a position where I got to give somebody a pass that because I didn't like what they say or I don't like their energy. I'm just not really um, in this season. I don't believe I can afford to do that, and I'm choosing not to do it. So, what are some of the areas that you guys have know that you need to set some boundaries that maybe you have been compromising, but it's the season that you should? Maybe 2026 is your year. Anybody?
I just had this conversation with Carmen earlier, um, about setting boundaries with Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. That's her two
Me and
sisters.
Carmen were, but Rhonda, for those of you, they're my two sisters. I'm the oldest. Carmen is 5 years younger than me. Rhonda is 2 years younger than me. And me and Carmen just had this conversation today about setting our boundaries with her. And not in a negative way, because I was telling Carmen, I don't think Rhonda realizes how she.
Ooh, we lost her. She'll come back. Well, there she is. Can you hear us, Erica? You're muted.
Sorry. Basically, I'm sorry. I don't know what my phone was doing.
Okay, start back where she doesn't realize.
I said, I don't think she realized she comes across how she comes across. Meaning that she'll say, go do this, go bring me this. And I don't really pay any attention, but Carmen will stop me and she'll be like, don't go do that. Did you ask her why she can't go do it herself? And I think she doesn't mean any harm, but she's so used to giving orders in her house that when she gets out, it's like it's ongoing. So we can be in the store and she'd be like, tie my shoe. So Carmen brought that to my attention a lot last year and even the year before, because I'm just that person. I'm just going to do it. I'm around kids all day. Miss Robinson, can you tie my shoes? Sure, come on. But even in that instance, Rhonda never says, well, Erica, can you please tie my shoe or whatever? She'll just give the order and I'll just do it. And Carmen's like, you need to stop that. And I told her, I don't really realize that, that I just be at her beck and call. So we decided today when we were talking that Carmen said, I'm just gonna call her out on her stuff. And I'm just gonna ask her, do she realize she's not talking to her kids? She's talking to her sisters, which are adults. And she just can't run those orders back and then get an attitude if we don't jump when she says jump. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to in 2026 is, setting those boundaries. I don't mind doing anything for anybody, but it's a way that you approach me and it's a way that you expect me to do it, and then if I don't do it, you acting funny. No, I'm not. Because I started doing her the same way I do my kids. When they belt out stuff, I'd be like, no, thank you. And they'd be like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not today. So, yeah, I was just talking about boundaries with my sibling, with my sister. Well, not so much Carmen, but with Rhonda.
And you know that nothing you just said surprised me at all. Nothing at all. So, but and it's funny. I was having a conversation with a young lady today, and she was saying, because when you said I'm just gonna call her out on it, is a lot of times I think people, they do stuff, and because nobody calls them out on it, they just do it, and then after a while they're insensitive to what they're doing because nobody ever said anything, right?
Mhm.
So they just continue to that's just their natural. And you know, the biggest thing we can't say, well, that's just how they are, because even the friend today, she was saying, we used to always say that's just how she is, but now we're 42 years old, like we can't no longer let that be
Mhm.
okay for her. So, and if we are finding ourselves compromising and being the ones, you know, how does that serve you? Like in what capacity does that serve you in any healthy way, right? And then I think it does a disservice to them too. Like it can do a disservice to that individual who is not necessarily um, being as respectful as they can, but they don't know they are because nobody's telling them. They think
Mhm.
it's acceptable, right? They just think
Yeah.
it's acceptable. Um, okay, our last question. What would winning in 2026 look like for you? Not by someone else's standards, but by your own definition of success. I want to hear from everybody. You can put in the chat, but I want to hear from everybody with this one. It almost kind of reminds us that first question. Um, but what would winning in 2026 look like for you? If you can say to your December 31st self, you say, girl, you did that. What's your that? What would be your that? Girl, you did that. And this may be something that you have to think about. And write this down too. When was the last time you wowed yourself? Okay. So did you put that one, Linnea, on your vision board? Is that on your vision board? The weight thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so a couple of the things that I had the group do on Saturday is to one of the main things I think is important is if you have like find the one thing, like what's your one thing? If you only could focus on one thing, what would be your one thing you would focus on? And then just kind of take that one thing through, like what that one thing, what are the 6 decisions that you need to make and to ensure that this one thing happens? What are some important people, maybe the people in your life that can support the one thing? Um, when you do the one thing, who does it impact? Like who else does it impact when you do that one thing? So if you only had the opportunity, really think about it, if I only had the opportunity to focus on one thing, what would it be? Because what we do often is we focus on a lot of things, and some things, you know, we're able to see them through. But then there's other things that we just do a piece of this, a little of this, and then we lose track, and then we get off track. What I, in my experience of coaching over 30 years, is that I have found that most people can't focus on more than 3 things at a time. So you don't ever want to start 3 new things at a time, or more than 3 new things at a time, because it's hard for your brain to start changing and shifting on that many things at a time. Because usually to get, especially something different accomplished that you hadn't done, you have to create new habits, new thoughts, new focus. Um, and your mind can't do the new thoughts, new focus over here, the new thoughts, new focus over here. So, especially if you don't have it on paper, um, so that you can follow something. You want to put it down because putting it down allows you to follow something when you don't have the energy, when you don't have, you know, the emotional capacity. You can read something and redo and do it. But when you have to figure it out and do it, the likelihood of you doing it, especially if there's stress and you overworked and all that kind of stuff, the things that we deal with in life, it's harder to get the things done. So if you take the one thing, say, what are the 6 things that I need, other decisions I need to make in order for me to put myself in position to win the one thing? What are a few steps that I know if I do these steps, it's going to get me rolling with the one thing? Who are the people that would also be impacted when I achieve the one thing? And then how will I feel when I achieve the one thing? So if you kind of map that out, then at least you have a sense of like, I know I can get this. Definitely. I will put myself in position if I can start this ball rolling. So those were the last, let me make sure that's the last question. Give me some feedback on the conversation. Give me some feedback. Any thoughts? Is that it? Yep. That's it. Let me see. What did you say? If you can only focus on 3 things, so I have to master them before moving on to other things I want to change or accomplish, or when they become routine, can I add more to it? When they come routine, you can add more to it, because then after a while, right, the things that you have to think about are no longer new, so your mind can absorb it better. Then when you are having to figure out multiple things, so get the 3 things. So because a lot of times some of those habits will serve the next thing, right? So definitely you can move on and continue, because that one will be head of that. And then also what it does too is, because I'm a big believer in this, when you have proven to yourself that you can be disciplined in one area of your life, you can be disciplined in another area of your life. Then it just becomes you figuring out what made you disciplined in that area. So getting those 3 things under your belt and then moving on to something else is better than trying to have 6 things going on and you can't get any control over anything, because there's so many moving parts, and then your mind is just all over the place. And just, do we even have the capacity to do that? It just with life, with work, with children, with family, and then trying to figure out 6 or so new areas of our life. In 2025, I wowed myself by giving up sugar for 40 days. It started off slow, but gradually it got better for me. I'm getting closer to reaching my goal of attaining better health. Come July 4th, it will be 2 years without pop or soda. Wow, congratulations. Yes, 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 yes. And I'm sure it had an impact on your overall medical health as well. Also, so find some accountabilities, just some check-in. Y'all know I'm nosy, so when you tell me you want to accomplish something, I want to hear about it. I want to hear the progress. I want to celebrate with you, because I definitely want to, and I believe we all have our own, what your vision of victory is. I just want to see it happen. If there's any way I can support you, please let me know. I'm always listening to stuff to help encourage me. Yeah, I'm a big listener of, I find topics, and I will say this to you: if you're struggling with something, if it's discipline, motivation, just go on YouTube and Google the word, and you'll get all kinds of stuff that pop up. Just start listening to it and feed your mind. And just kind of feed your mind so that you can have, I like to say, I always say this: you can't keep me down long, because I have stored up positivity in me. So I can pull it out at any time. So not to say that I won't go down, but you can't keep me down long, right? Because we all got something that can try to take us out. But because I constantly feed myself with with positivity, overcoming type of stuff. My bounce back ability is pretty quick as well. So any last comments or thoughts? I hope this was helpful. You guys stayed on, so that's a blessing. But I do hope that this is, Camille, when you said that, hadn't been triggered, wonderful. Appreciate that, Lanita, that no one had asked the probing questions. I promise you, that is definitely my my thing. I used to say, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but I'm trying to get you uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Just because I think a lot of times we're not pushed. We don't, usually our family and friends all the time are trying to protect us more than push us. So I love to be your pusher man. My daughter was like, stop saying that. But I love to be the person who just encourages you to stretch a little bit more, to support, to push you in a direction, get you out your comfort zone, help you to wow yourself, see some things that maybe no one's paying attention to. I want to be that person for you. And I hope this, the Side Tribe community encourages that for you as well. So I appreciate you guys getting on. Next week is Monday. It may be amazing. Akeisha has gone through a lot. And just her push, I think it's going to be encouraging, just to talk about how because, a lot of it is that emotional intelligence, being able to still push through when life is happening. So, but they say we either going through, coming through, or just came out of a situation. So that is it. That's all. So you guys have a fantabulous rest of the Tuesday. Have an amazing week. And until next week, and be looking out for those upcoming things that I shared. So we'll hoping to be getting that calendar out, and then our different promos out as well. So I'm excited about it. All the great things. So wishing amazing and great things for you as well this year. So you guys have a fantabulous night. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you.